Hello, I'm Mary, and this is Mary Makes It Work. This week, we are on week 3 of our exciting, well, not so exciting, adventure into a 10-week project where I plan to make a 6-minute animated short movie. On one side, this side, yes, you're going to be seeing the drawing in progress. You don't see my hand because I'm using an electronic drawing pad. And I thought that would be more interesting anyway. You're seeing it going on in the Blender interface. And I'd like to pretend that I can draw and talk at the same time, but I can barely do one or the other. I for sure cannot do two things at the same time. So this is what we've got. So that is essentially what I've been doing this week. I don't have any drama to bring you because the whole purpose of my life is to not do drama. And I'm pretty good at it. So the drama has to go on in my head, and there is not one thing in the world, at least for me, wrong with having a nice, calm, orderly, boring life. I know that's not popular these days, and for sure doesn't make for exciting YouTube viewing, but let's do as you watch me draw my storyboard frames, and they're awful, not finished drawings, barely drawings at all, but it's to give me an idea of framing, camera shots, that sort of thing, what I need to create in my world to take my initial pictures. I am rambling. This is what I've been doing. I'm drawing tiny pictures of a movie I haven't made yet so that I will know how to make the movie that I haven't made yet. I've found out that there are a lot of stages of making a movie that happen before you get to start making the movie, and I think that's really interesting. Planning, who knew? Nobody mentioned that in any brochure that I read, but I guess that's why they call it art. This week was storyboards. Again, like I said, not beautiful art, just decisions. And you can watch them as they progress. Also, I put background music. It's songs that I created in Suno. So what you're hearing is just my lo-fi jazz that I listen to a lot when I am working. I suppose we should talk about the thing that everyone's been talking about, the YouTube change of rules. Now, it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form with the amount of foodly toodling that I do to make a video and the amount of time that I invest. And my darling subscribers who I love, each and every one of you, but there aren't enough of you or enough of my work product for you to watch that I was ever going to get to 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. So the fact that they doubled the watch hours is irrelevant to me. I was never going to get there anyway, but it affected me, which is weird because that wasn't anything that I thought that did affect me. But it's like, oh, okay, you doubled the amount of hours to get in on a share of the ad revenue or subscriptions. That's what it is. So they doubled the number of hours that it takes to qualify for subscription or ad revenue, which for smaller channels is tiny. I think I did the math, and even at 4,000 or 8,000 watch hours a year, it's a couple $100. Not enough money to be worth stress of constantly chasing whatever the algorithm's whim is this week. All the things they say you need to do, your thumbnails, your shorts, your this, your that. If you want to have a YouTube channel, have a YouTube channel. Look at it as a really fun, inexpensive way to put your information or your videos out into the world. If you go chasing the algorithm is fast and it's always going to be ahead of you. If you get lucky, great. If you don't, well, that's life. Anyway, That's out of the way. That was Monday. Monday they announced that, and it did affect me. I thought, oh no. Well, then I thought, what do you mean? Oh no. It wasn't like you were going to hit the first level anyway, so why are you worrying about them doubling it? That makes no sense. Please don't let an algorithm cause you any stress. It's like, oh, okay, I'm back to what I was doing. I fussed over it for an hour or so, and then I opened up Blender and got back to work. On Tuesday, yes, I'm running through my week just to give you an idea of how really not interesting my weeks usually are. But on Tuesday, I took the day off work because I was going to take the dogs to the vet. Now, there may be a little anxiety going on in my life. It also could be the way that we grew up. There was a little bit of chaos in our lives as we were growing up. But anyway, Tuesday, the plan was to take the dogs to the vet. And I'll be honest, I had been mentally preparing for that day for about a week. It was just 2 dogs, 1 me, other dogs, other people, doors, leashes, getting Noodle to behave. What could possibly go wrong? Now, Noodle's a sweetheart, and I wish he would appear on camera, but he declines. I try to invite him up, and he says, no thanks. So, unless I chase him around with a camera, you may never see him. We will try to get images of Noodle the Poodle for you, but if he sees a camera coming, he knows that I'm up to something, so he usually hides. But anyway, he's very well behaved on a leash in the house, in the yard. But put him in a car and take him somewhere, all bets are off. He is so excited. He's not a mean dog. He's incredibly friendly. He loves people. He loves other dogs. He's a big lunk. And he is all over the place, and there's no controlling it when I go out in public. I suppose I should practice with him more, but I know I should practice with him more out among real people, but he's a handful. As I said before, what could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, despite all my anxiety and anticipation, almost nothing went wrong. In fact, nothing went wrong. I got to the vet's office, got the dogs, Noodle and Lila, out of the car. We walked in. Noodle was his usual exuberant self. Lila was calm. And then the vet was very nice, and the dogs thought she was lovely. And they got their shots, and they let us out the side door. I'm not sure if they do that for everybody or if we were special because Noodle is out of control. And when I say he's out of control, he's not snarling, he's not snapping, he's just bouncing up and down and greeting everybody. And oh, life is so exciting. I'll have to catch him one of these days when he's in life is so exciting mode because it's hysterical. But anyway, that's it. There was no disaster at the vet's office on Tuesday. I worry in advance. I mean, well, now that I think about it, there was one little incident. There was a woman, a very tall, very well-dressed, lovely, lovely woman with a very tiny terrier of some sort who, while Noodle was bouncing around and we were trying to check in, she refused to walk in the door, and she was kind of glaring at me, and oops, sorry lady, I guess you can just wait outside the door for another 2 minutes while we check in, and then we go sit down and you can bring your little terrier in. And I don't know, the look was strange. I am not good at interpreting. I'm not good at interpreting humans and their intentions, but if it was disdain she was heaping on me, oh well. I don't have to live up to the standards of some random person walking into a veterinarian's office. I don't. I refuse to. Now, here's kind of the funny part. I told you I took Tuesday off of work because I intended to take the dogs to the vet. Well, I took Wednesday off of work also, just in case. You might be going, what? Just in case of what? You never know. You just never know. Tuesday, we got through the vet's office and various other things, and there was no disaster, but the family I grew up in. As I said, occasionally there was chaos. In fact, we celebrated birthdays the evening before your actual birthday, just in case. I don't recall any specific disaster happening on anybody's birthday. Oh, well, except my birthday party in 5th grade, but we won't go into that. A chair got smashed. Yeah. Anyway. None of my guests and I didn't smash the chair. It was someone else in the family that decided I didn't deserve a birthday, so they smashed an antique chair right in the middle of the serving of the cake. It was beautiful. Anyway, that's ancient history. But anyway, just in case. I guess I should have just in cased my birthday party that one time I ever had one, so that the thing that happened wouldn't happen. Oh well, you can't go back and undo the past. You can just avoid the people that caused that problem in the first place. That said, anyway, the whole just in case thing, there was enough occasional chaos in my childhood. Taking an extra day off Wednesday after the Tuesday when I plan to take the dogs to the vet is perfectly reasonable in my world. It may not be in yours. Let's hope it's not, but there you have it, just in case. Having unexpectedly survived Tuesday, I had Wednesday available, so I relaxed. And by relaxed, I mean I worked on my website, I finalized the shot list for the movie, I vacuumed the house, terrifying both dogs in the process, and I did laundry. Rest comes in many forms. Thursday and Friday, nothing to report. Went to work. Thursday I worked. Friday I worked. I thought back in my memory, apparently that's all that happened. Get up, feed the dogs, go to work, feed the dogs, foodly toot around the house. It was beautiful. I like days when nothing happens. Honestly, I do. Calm is good. Helps me make it work. Then Saturday morning, for some odd reason, I woke up at 3 a.m. No idea why. I don't typically wake up at 3 a.m. I typically wake up at 5:30, something like that. I got my coffee and walked into the living room, opened the drapes, and there to the south was a storm, apparently going on about 10 miles south of us. So I couldn't really hear the thunder except really low and in the distance, but I got to watch this most amazing light show because there was a lot of lightning, and so I was watching a light show at 3 a.m. You could see the clouds when the lightning flashed and the different shades of blue. It was pretty. I'm sorry for anybody that was underneath it, but it was very pretty to watch from a distance. I like mornings. I like early mornings. I like getting up because there's that little space of time where it's just you and the world before the rest of the world has woken up and started making demands for a little while. Saturday morning it was just me and somebody else's storm. Today I'm supposed to be mowing my lawn and we've had a lot of rain. It's been hot. In fact, NOAA says it's the hottest July on record ever. Still want to know where their temperature gauges are. Are they in the middle of big cities? Yeah, the bigger the city gets, the hotter it gets in the city. I don't know if that's where they are. I've never been able to find a map of where their temperature gauges are. I suppose it's absolutely legitimate to say that cities are getting hotter. They absolutely are. But is the whole world getting hotter? Is the United States getting hotter? I don't know. I don't know. I do know that we've had a lot of rain. It's been nice and warm. And my grass is growing like crazy. And I have to get out sometime this weekend and mow it. Or Monday evening. I actually like mowing grass. I like the smell. I like the sound. I don't like the heat, but oh well. I did my grocery shopping too on Saturday, and Much to my surprise, a pound of ground chuck is now over $7. That's the fancy on a little tray where it actually looks like meat and it's not in the pound sausage container thing. You know what I'm talking about, the ones that are wrapped in plastic and you have absolutely no idea what you're getting until you open it. Usually that's the way I go. But I thought, no, I'm gonna buy meat that I can actually see. Kyle must have lived one incredible adventurous life to be worth $7 a pound for ground chuck. But there you have it. And at $7 a pound, it's a whole lot less like grocery shopping and a whole lot more like making a financial decision. But I splurged and bought a pound of ground beef. A couple of weeks ago, I really splurged and spent $20-some on a steak. It was a pound steak, a strip steak. I cut it in half and froze half, and I ate half. And surprisingly, that worked. I was craving steak, but instead of cooking the whole steak all at once and eating it, I cut it in two, froze half. A little steak and some veg and some potato, and that solved the craving. And then I had another one for later to complete my Saturday. Are you guys bored yet? I loaded up the bread maker. Saturday evening, the bread machine was running. Somebody down the street was mowing, and I was drawing storyboards. Storyboards for a movie about lost time. And looking back over the week, nothing much happened. Work, vet, laundry, groceries, vacuuming, storyboards, bread, lightning at 3 a.m, somebody mowing. Right in the middle, there was an unexpectedly available Wednesday. I keep looking for the important part of life as if it's going to arrive separately. Turns out, it kind of arrives as an unexpectedly available Wednesday because disaster didn't happen. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe the important parts of life are part of life. There's nothing much else going on except drawing and music, and since we are now completely ignoring the algorithm, I can have 50 minutes of nothing much going on at the end of my video, and I'm not worrying about watch hours, I'm not worrying about retention, I'm not worrying about anything that YouTube says I should worry about, because I'm not getting over their latest hurdle. Not that I was going to before, but okay. I've had boyfriends like that. It's like no matter what you got done, boy, they say, that was really good, but actually, you need to do just a little more. Nope. We don't play that game. Anyway, I hope you had a lovely week this past week. I hope you have a lovely week next week. This is Mary Makes It Work. Enjoy the jazz and the drawing. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.